The locusts of Joel and the image of Daniel 2, a parallel of judgment and restoration. The prophetic imagery found in Joel 1 and Daniel 2 presents a striking parallel regarding the destruction and successive dominion of world empires over the land of Israel. Joel's vision of the locust swarm devouring everything in its path aligns closely with the successive kingdoms depicted in Nebuchadnezzar's dream of a great statue in Daniel 2. Both prophecies describe a continuous cycle of oppression and transition until the restoration of God's kingdom. The locusts and the metals, a perfect match. In Joel 1, the prophet describes 4 waves of locusts consuming the land. Each successive wave represents an empire that dominated Israel, stripping it of sovereignty and reducing it to subjugation. Likewise, the image in Daniel 2 outlines 4 successive empires ruling the known world, each represented by a different metal in the statue. 1. What the locust swarm has left, the great locusts have eaten, Babylon, the head of gold. The first wave of destruction corresponds to Babylon, represented as the head of gold. Babylon, under Nebuchadnezzar, conquered Jerusalem in 586 BCE, ending the kingdom of David and destroying the first temple. This marked the first stage of Israel's loss of sovereignty, leaving the land vulnerable to future invasions. 2. What the great locusts have left, the young locusts have eaten, Medo-Persia, the chest and arms of silver. The second stage of devastation aligns with the Medo-Persian Empire, represented by the chest and arms of silver. While the Persians allowed the exiles to return and rebuild the temple, Israel remained under foreign rule. The sovereignty once held by the Davidic dynasty was never fully restored, and the nation remained subject to imperial authority. Number 3. What the young locusts have left, other locusts have eaten. Greece, the belly and thighs of bronze. The third wave of locusts corresponds to the Greek Empire, symbolized by the belly and thighs of bronze. Alexander the Great and his successors, particularly the Seleucid rulers, imposed Hellenistic culture on Israel, leading to intense persecution, such as under Antiochus IV Epiphanes. The defilement of the Second Temple and the forced assimilation of Jewish customs further eroded the remnants of Israel's independence. Number 4. The young locusts have eaten. Rome, the legs of iron. The final stage of consumption is represented by the Roman Empire, depicted as the legs of iron. Rome subjugated Israel completely, culminating in the destruction of the Second Temple in 70 CE. This was the most devastating period, as Rome not only conquered the land, but also scattered the people, effectively ending Israel's national existence for nearly 2 millennia. The divided kingdom and the feet of iron and clay. After Rome, the image in Daniel 2 shifts to the feet of iron and clay, representing a divided kingdom. This corresponds with the final stage in Joel's prophecy, where the remnants of the previous destruction continue to eat away at what is left. The other locusts have eaten, the feet of iron and clay, a divided kingdom. The feet of iron mixed with clay symbolize a fractured and unstable period of rule. This is seen in the divided nature of Europe after the fall of Rome, with the emergence of the Holy Roman Empire in the west and the Byzantine Empire in the east. Over time, this evolved into modern European powers, leading into the present era. The 10 toes and the modern age. The 10 toes of the statue have often been interpreted as the fragmented political powers of today, particularly the European Union, which, though powerful, lacks the unity and strength of past empires. This corresponds with the weakened state of the last stage of locust consumption, where Israel, though partially restored, remains under external political pressures. The stone that ends the cycle. In Daniel 2:34-35, a stone cut out without hands strikes the statue and destroys it completely, growing into a great mountain that fills the whole earth. This stone represents the restored kingdom of God under Jesus Christ. The restoration of the kingdom of God. Just as the locust swarms in Joel left nothing but destruction, the prophecy does not end in despair. Joel speaks of a future restoration where God will have mercy and renew the land. Joel 2:25-27. Similarly, Daniel's vision points to a divine intervention that will bring an end to human empires and establish God's eternal rule. Jesus Christ, the King of the coming kingdom. The stone that crushes the statue signifies the arrival of the Messianic kingdom, where Jesus Christ will reign. Unlike the previous empires, which relied on human power and domination, this kingdom is divinely ordained and everlasting. The cycle of locusts and metal kingdoms will finally be broken, replaced by a kingdom that will never be destroyed. The imagery of the locusts in Joel and the statue in Daniel 2 are two sides of the same prophetic vision. Both describe a relentless progression of foreign domination over Israel, stripping it of its sovereignty and bringing devastation. Yet both prophecies also point toward an ultimate restoration under Jesus Christ. The cycle of consumption and oppression will not continue indefinitely. Just as the locusts devoured the land until nothing was left, so too did the empires of Babylon, Persia, Greece, and Rome strip away Israel's independence. But the stone, representing Christ's rule, will bring an end to human empires and establish God's kingdom forever. The message is clear: worldly kingdoms will fall, but the kingdom of God will endure eternally.